What's up out there, everybody? Welcome to episode 3 of the Relentless Hope podcast. My name is David Cravens.
And I'm Jonna Cravens.
My beautiful librarian teacher.
I'll teach
I'm
you something,
not the
boy.
teacher. We want to thank everybody who's checked out our first 2 podcasts.
For sure.
I'm going to quit saying but that liked and subscribed and shared it. We've been getting some really good feedback, and we appreciate that. We thank you guys. We're blessed. We're thankful, and all that good stuff.
Thanks for the love.
Yes, we're coming to you from sunny Southwest Florida. It's been brutal. It's been hot.
Dang, it's going to be a hot summer, son.
It's going to be a hot summer. It's been in the 90s. We got Miss Diana over there on the controls, back there doing her thing. We're thankful to be here. So, getting back in, we're going to tackle today, I think we'll talk about not really a title, but a juggling act. You know,
Okay.
We kind of shared in the last episode what we're addicted to, some things we've changed, how we try to live our life. But I want to start off with a quote. It says, "Sacrifice for the life you want, or the life you want will be the sacrifice."
Come on.
What's that mean to you, babe? What
That's
do you think
some
about
good
that?
stuff. One thing I've learned, I'm saying I'm just like you did. But one thing I've learned is that you're either going to sacrifice now or later in life. So which one do you want to do? Do you want to sacrifice now so that later you can be where you want to be in life and you can have the things that you want to have? Or do you want to sacrifice? A lot of people, procrastinators tend to do this. They'd rather have everything now and then sacrifice later.
Okay. Yeah.
I'd rather let's just get it over with right now. Let's just sacrifice now, man. Let's just do it.
But what are some sacrifices that we have to do, in the juggling act of life? Like there's so many hats.
Right.
Take you, for instance, you're a mother, you're a wife, you're a mother of a 50-year-old grown man. Your job never ends. You're working right beside me. We're doing music. We're doing podcasts, taking time. You're one of the people, one thing I do got to say. So this is to everybody she checks on all the time. Check on her every once in a while. No, but you're amazing at texting people and putting other people before you. That's one thing
thank you.
that you are really, that is a calling and a blessing that you do. And I might cry again. That's what you'll get used to.
Don't do it.
No, but so how do you juggle all that? I know before, like I used to juggle stuff by if I was stressed, I got drunk.
Yes.
You know what I mean? So I juggled, or if I was broke, I tried to hustle whatever way I could do, So when you change your life and you live life, what's the sacrifices you have to make for that better life right now?
Man, I would have to say from the time my feet hit the floor, it's always thinking of, like my kids, the business. So as soon as I wake up, first thing I'm doing is either letting a dog out or taking Nevaeh to school. One of those things are happening, taking her to the bus stop. But there's just so many, and I guess it comes to a point where you really don't even think of it as a sacrifice so much. It's just what you do,
right?
It's part of what we do. So, and there's just so many different things that you're doing. But like I said, you don't really think of it as a sacrifice anymore because it's just your routine. It's what you do. It's your call. It's your position in the family.
Yeah, I mean, sacrifices could be something too, and juggling. Sacrificing something to make your body feel good, like coffee. Like everybody likes coffee, Starbucks, all these different things. But, sometimes you're like, oh, I need a coffee. And I'm like, well, all that caffeine's not really good for you,
So here, drink a Bang.
Well, no, actually, I say a Joy Burst.
No, it's a Joy Burst.
If you can find them. But because that's all healthy energy drink stuff. And I was an energy drink junkie. So something that I've had to sacrifice to be able to juggle was I don't slam energy drinks like I would because they're not healthy for me.
No.
Which,
And you have an aneurysm on your heart. So
yeah, I had an aneurysm, yes, on my heart. So, I got to be careful of what I do and how I juggle, if you will. You know what I mean? So that's one thing is sacrificing, like feeling good now for later, right? So exercise, spiritual stuff, self-teaching, hard work. See, right now we might sacrifice time and hard work. So later on,
Right.
we could do it. So juggling all this stuff at one time, some people are like, "Oh, how do you do this? How do you not do that? How do you do that?" One way is routines.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Routines are important. And I would have to say, I'd have to give you credit on that one because you've really helped me, with that. Because as a woman, I can wake up and be like, I have this to do. And I'm literally running around the house like a chicken with my head cut off, trying to mop the floor, trying to finish the dishes, trying to get breakfast for you, clean up after the dogs, clean up after
Right?
the kids, laundry. It never stops. You know what I
No.
mean? So you kind of help me prioritize and focus
What do you
on
think
what
some
needs to be
ways
done at that point in time.
what do you think some ways are though that you've juggled, and what's some things you've changed that you used to do
Mhm.
that you don't do now to balance, right? What's some things now that you do
Yeah.
that you didn't do before to help you get through besides eating Xanax by the dozen?
Yeah. Well, I try to have everything on the schedule for the next day, from materials that need to be ordered to jobs, people that need to be called. I try to have that all written out on the calendar the night before. So that way it's prioritized and we don't wake up in a frenzy. Oh, we need this, and this. We already know, hey, this is what we need to do,
Right.
you know?
Well, you got them weeks before and months before, but I
Yeah.
mean, you're talking about the day before needs, right? And that's
Yes.
something
Yes.
I'm working at getting better. And shout out to John Huffman when we were at the 420 Get Motivated seminar.
Yes.
He talked about scheduling. What's on your schedule? Do you have scheduled dates with your wife? Do you have,
Right.
scheduled time that you're doing this? Scheduled, and even going to church on Wednesday. Like we work sometimes late in the
Right.
day, right? Sometimes we don't get home till 7 o'clock, 8 o'clock at night, left at six,
Right.
5, whatever. We have to schedule, which it sounds sad. We have to schedule to go to church
Yeah.
because,
But I mean, it's all in the way you look at it. I don't
right?
I don't think it's sad because it's what's important to you. You know
Well,
what I mean?
Jesus should be your priority.
Well,
No,
absolutely.
I'm just
But
like,
I mean, you look at it, we have a full life as everybody else does. So, yeah, you have to schedule it cuz sometimes we can forget because we'll be running off to, Marco Island to do somebody's pool table, and then somebody wants us to stop by and check out. Things can get hectic real fast. So if
yeah.
you don't have that pop up as a reminder, that's nothing but a reminder. It's just reminding you, hey, you got church tonight, and you make time for that,
And
right?
so that's one good point. How we sacrifice and juggle both, right?
Yeah, yeah,
Is schedule and routine. It's important from the start of your day. It's a proven fact. You can work busy and crazy
hmm,
and have no schedule and be running around and not get nothing done, that you
absolutely.
can work half of the day if you had it scheduled
And
and
have it
took the time to
organized.
do it,
That's right.
And that's something as I don't even because drugs, that was nothing but chaos. Matter of fact, you thrive on the
Oh yeah,
chaos. Like I
that's
used
the
to thrive
lifestyle.
on chaos. Like, oh, let's go. We've got to do this. And we're going to do this, and then
Yeah,
just run in circles, right? Spinning your wheels. So that's been something that we've changed in our life because just because you get sober, or just because you stop doing drugs, or you start going to church, or
right.
whatever the case may be, start working out, start getting healthy, you still have patterns in your lifestyle, right? We all
Yes.
have patterns. I was listening to Ed Milet say it, patterns. So, when you can have good patterns, like I'm doing success in my business,
That's right.
this is going good, and then your spending habits. That's
That's
something
right.
I've had to work on.
That's
Like,
right.
well, hey, we made this much money. That goes back to drugs, usage. Well, I made this much money. What's it doing this, right?
Exactly.
That's a pattern, and not all patterns are bad,
No.
but you have to moderate them and don't let them run over you.
And sometimes you have to develop new patterns,
Exactly, and that's what I was
healthy
getting to, healthy
patterns.
patterns,
Right.
and that's something that I would always be like, well, okay, I'm sober, I'm a hard worker.
Right.
Well, don't mean your patterns are good. You know what
Yeah,
I
that's
mean?
called entitlement.
Yeah.
But I love you though.
I'm
What?
entitled. No, but
Spoiled
the
brat.
thing is, we've had to change, and you hit on it. To juggle, it's had to be pattern changes.
Right.
Our routine. There's days we do not want to get up and start the day and work out and then go to work and then deal with things.
Right.
But there's a difference between motivation, inspiration,
Yes.
and
And
discipline
perspiration.
and perspiration.
Smell check.
But I was trying to hit a serious point. but she got me on that one. That's why I
You're
love her.
welcome.
But there's a difference between motivation, inspiration, and stinky nation.
Yeah.
No, but
Which we are not. Okay.
motivation, inspiration, and then there's discipline.
Absolutely.
Okay. Because some days you can feel motivated. I'm going to change the world. This is the day. Nothing's going to stop me. And then there's
Discipline is where it's at. Discipline is
discipline.
what comes in and it changes you because you know, hey, I have this pattern. This is what I need to stick to. I don't feel like it. No,
Mm.
my dog kept me up all night. There was a stray dog trying to come in my house.
Oh, he was trying to listen. Let me tell you about this stray dog, okay? A little bit off topic. So there's this little pit bull. I'll call him a it bull, but I'm a Christian, so I don't cuss.
Since when?
but so, but we have two Cane Corsos, which are Italian Masters, which are pit bulls on steroids, basically big dogs,
Beautiful.
beautiful dogs. Well, one of them's fixed because she's the grandmother, and the other one is the granddaughter. She's just a pup, just going into her first heat. So there's this little pit bull that he's a little fella. He gets
Compared
under
to
our
our
feet,
dogs.
or under our feet, under our under our fence, and he comes in and he just like he lives there. He comes in, he's at the back door. I'm in there and I go, the dog's knocking on the back door, the little crackhead dog from down the street.
Shauna, this
Right?
dog's
He
knocking
was
on the
raised on the
door.
mean streets of Lehigh Acres, Florida. Okay.
Lehigh.
I think he's in a gang. But he comes in there and he knocks on the door, like literally. He's like, "What's up?" But he scratches on the door, like, "Can your dog come out and play?" And
Oh, you don't want to play.
yeah, so we've been going through that. This dog came in our fence. How he gets in and out of there, I don't
Because
know.
he's so little compared
He's so
to our
little, he
dogs.
comes under, and he tears up our back porch.
Well, that's because you wouldn't let him in that.
Yeah, well,
Doozy.
he tears up, but this is like at 1 a.m. This guy don't have no curfew.
We're spirits.
And he comes in, he tears up the stuff on the back porch. He gets the pillows out of the chairs around the fire pit and drug them all around. Took Elijah, who didn't listen and take in his remote control truck,
Imagine that.
chews that up, and just wrecks the place because he's like, "Come on!" and so the dogs are crying. This is just crazy. I don't know where I'm going with this, but
No sleep.
The no sleep over dogs. Not only we used to get no sleep over our kids, but she's doing well, by the way. But we wake up and it's like 2 o'clock, 3 o'clock, and I get up at 4. I'm like, well, I might as well get up. It's like 3 o'clock. I did not want to go to the gym, did I, Beth?
No.
Jonna had to make me go. I was like, I'm not worried about it. We'll go tomorrow. And she's like, no, because if we miss today, then we're off routine, and it spirals. And then I got an email because believe it or not, just because you serve Jesus and you don't do drugs, real life still hits you.
Get out.
And that's where the discipline comes in.
Yeah.
It's okay to be motivated. You know, I can watch a DDP video and I get motivated, or whoever, or I can be inspired when I hear somebody's doing great in business. And those are all great things.
Pushes you.
But the discipline is what gets me through when I don't want to do neither of the other, or I'm not either of the other. And the rule of thumb is don't have a crackhead gang member dog trying to get at your little dog.
Blood.
And you'll be inspired. But what's some other ways we juggle stuff, babe?
Jeez.
What's another way? I can tell you something that helps me be a better me and be able to juggle is giving to other people.
Oh, for sure.
Especially when you don't feel. Like, give when you don't feel. Like, for instance, say this podcast, getting up, it's like we were like, okay, you know, everything's been going on. We're running behind work. It's great.
Yeah.
We were like, okay, but we got to go give, you know. And after we did our first couple, I'll just be honest, I had imposter syndrome. And I talked about it before. I was like, who's going to watch this? Then I watched them and I'm critiquing everything that I'm saying. I'm looking at my head.
Yeah, you're your own worst enemy.
I'm looking at my head. My head looks fat in the camera. And I'm just like, man, what the heck? What am I doing here? You know? And then this week, we released some music videos recently, released a podcast. Right. Stuff's been going good. Calls are coming. People are asking us to go places and come and share our story, you know, which will be
the whole point of why we do this.
But the whole reason why we do this. And I'm just like, so we released the first podcast and I'm just having serious imposter syndrome. Like, I'm just not good enough. And like, why do this? Who wants to listen to this? This is a waste of time. It's a waste of resources. And then I get a couple calls, from some dear friends, some from people I don't know that well, some messages and whatever. But they were like, man, I love your podcast, dude. Why didn't you do it longer? We want to hear you talk more. I'm like, most people tell me to shut up and you want to hear me. But and just you and your wife, and we love your story, and oh man, the video, all of a sudden, people are calling like, man, your numbers are doing good, and we were like, yeah, we wasn't expecting it either, and
See, somebody cares what you have
but
to
the
say.
thing is, we should expect that,
Yeah,
right? You got to bet on yourself. You got to
absolutely.
be, you got to bet on you can juggle this, right? Not like, oh, I don't know how I'm gonna pay the car.
And listen,
Yeah.
let me stop you too, because really, does it matter? Does it matter how we think we look, or does it matter what we're saying? What's the real
Well, I care
important
what
part
my
about
face
this?
looks like. Diana, put that filter on there, that slimming one.
Get over yourself, boy. You're not always gonna like the way you
I'm
look.
just playing.
It's just life, right?
Right.
But it's more important. It's more important what we're saying than how we look.
Yeah. And that goes back to the juggling and the sacrifice. Sacrifice sometimes is you're talking to somebody on the phone, or you need to give somebody an encouraging
Mm,
word. And again, goes back to what I was saying about you. You're the master of it. I've seen you struggling. Like, we've got some real life things going on,
yeah.
like seriously, and you talking to somebody, you're texting somebody like, I gotta text so and so and check on them. I'm like, well, they better check on you, right? But the thing is, and when you do that, I see you get joy,
Yeah.
and you kind of manifest it, and speak it into it, and that's all part of the juggling act and the sacrificing to be a better you in the long run, right?
And David, you do that too. You're very good about
Not as good as you are at it, though.
you're very good at putting other people first. You
Yeah,
are. You need
yeah,
to
I
give
try to.
yourself more credit. You do.
Yeah,
Even our employees,
yeah,
you put them a lot of times. We'll
no,
put them before ourselves. I
yeah,
mean, yeah, we have to make sure our bills are taken care of and everything, but we make sure that they're where they need to be. They have work,
yeah.
even if we're slow. So that's part of the juggling act
The
too.
the juggling act of dogs in heat,
Jesus.
kids arguing, and Jackson's playing the guitar, and I'm proud of him. But I'm about to hit him over the head with it if he keeps playing those same chords all
Listen,
day
Leonard
long.
Skinner.
Down, 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 down,
Dun,
down,
dun,
down.
dun,
No,
dun.
he's doing great.
Yeah, how's he gonna learn?
Yeah, how's he going to learn? And I
You
told
gotta
him, and he's like,
believe in
well,
him.
you told me that. But, so there's always something going on, something juggling.
It's life.
And if you're out there, you're juggling something, or maybe life's just juggling you, right? I know a time when life was just juggling me. Like, if I had a flat tire, if I didn't have money to pay the light bill, I just like I'd give up everything. I'm like, screw it. I'm getting divorced. This ain't gonna work out,
Yeah.
and that's all in patterns that we do in life, the juggling patterns. You think the same thoughts. When the same thing happens, you do the same thing. And I was talking to a dear friend of mine, and I won't say his name, but for about an hour yesterday. And he's dear to my heart. I love the guy. He's like a little brother. I've known him since he's been 15 years old. And so I'm like telling him what he needs to do, right?
Right.
Like, and he's listening,
And he's receiving it
he's
because if
receiving
he's
it.
going to take it from anybody, it's
And
going
I'm
to be
going
you.
hard on him too. I wasn't being easy, but in love,
Absolutely.
and the juggling act, I'm telling him, I'm like, this is the pattern, bro. This is what you do. I've known you your whole life. I can tell you why,
Yeah.
and if you don't, and then, he would kind of give me a couple excuses, and then he would catch himself,
Right.
which is better than our last talk and better than talk, because he
Improvement.
realizes I'm making excuses. Dave's not going to put up with it.
That's right.
And he knows me. But the thing is, he's juggling a lot of stuff in life that he didn't ask for in life.
Mm-mm.
There's things that happen to him that he didn't ask for, but it's all in the decisions and the patterns we
Right.
make. Bad stuff still happens.
Absolutely.
You got to change it.
And it's not making yourself a victim because
Right.
that's a lot of our
And he
problems.
won't do that, really.
Yeah.
He
Well, you stay stuck in that though. And it does become a victim mentality because you're like, well, I have this and I have this and I have this
Mhm.
and you just make it poor me. Where man, really, you got to think about the people that mean the most to you, that
Yeah.
you love the most,
Yeah.
and put them first because they're way more important than any beer, any
Right.
alcohol. So it's kind of like what you said. It's prioritizing. It's just putting your kids first. We've had to do that,
Right. And putting yourself first. Sometimes we'll put everybody ahead of us, and not put ourselves first.
Right.
That's part of the juggling act. How do we be the best us and sacrifice? It's this is who's in our life. This is who isn't in our life.
Right.
This is what happens. This is what don't happen. Right. And having to prioritize our relationship.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And sometimes we're guilty of not, you know, date nights or
Yeah.
weekends away. Like it's just been really hectic and really
For us to
crazy.
get a night away is almost impossible.
Yeah, it is, man.
Oh.
And you've got to take that time. You've got to make it work.
Yeah.
This has to be priority. And we're still learning that and working on it every day. That's why we watch stuff like Jimmy Evans. That's why Mark Driscoll,
Shout out to Jimmy
Jimmy
Evans.
Evans, Marriage Today, single-handedly changed our life. No, but
How'd that
really
go
though,
again?
I mean, what was I doing last night? Laying there
Yeah.
was I was going to sleep, listening to
But you know, you think
Jimmy
about that 'cause you think
Evans
about how
messages.
many hours that people put in watching television, and
Mhm.
I mean, really, there's no excuse for anybody out there who wants to better their life because there's so many things, so many avenues out there that you can watch and get inspired from and learn so many things from. So if you're going to spend time watching something, why not watch something that is going to benefit you? It's going to take you to the next level, help you grow, right?
Yeah, that's one of our
You're
tools
very good about that.
in juggling acts. And I said this the last episode, I think, or the first one, whatever. What's your YouTube feed look like?
Mm-hmm.
Is it worried about Drake and Kendrick Lamar? Like like Nevaeh wants to have a conversation about Drake and Kendrick Lamar. I couldn't tell you a Drake song or Kendrick Lamar. I know who they both are, obviously. Um, but there's other things in life like Southwest Florida being number 2 in drug overdoses, um, people not being able to afford groceries, um, jobs. Like I don't really care who won Drake or Kendrick Lamar's battle rap. Okay, just not my thing. Not don't got time for it. And even you sometimes you'll be reading the news because you like to know what's going
I
on and you
do.
like to see
I
what's going on in
definitely
our
do.
community and what's being there. But it's like I'm like I don't want to read that. I don't need to read that stuff. I know it. I know it's bad. So what does your feeds look like?
Mm-hmm.
If you show me what your feeds look like, it'll show me what your patterns look like. It'll show me what does your bookshelf look like.
Mm-hmm.
Are you reading Harry Potter? Are you reading
So
Patrick Bet
true.
David?
Come on.
Okay, if you're reading Harry Potter, you're living in Fantasyland.
That's right.
All right. And I'm not saying my mom thinks Harry Potter is Satan, but I remember remember who got in trouble, was it Jackson or Elijah?
It was Elijah.
Yeah, for having Harry Potter books. But so each their own, man. I'm not here to dog Harry Potter. I'm not into it, but if you're into it, Harry Potter on, my man. But what are you reading? Are you a grown man? And I was some video came on. What was it? Was it Brad Lee? Somebody was talking about somebody playing video games for 6 hours, 8 hours a day. Okay, I'm gonna tell you this. I do play NASCAR on Sunday while I'm waiting for her to get ready. That's the only day I play video game in the morning while I'm waiting for her to get ready. And I'm pretty good on it, by the way, too. Probably pretty good racer on there on NASCAR. And because I'm
Got me
already
moving.
UFC champion, I used to do that before. But other than that, I
I'm
don't
gonna
play
need
video
Jackson
games.
Cravens on this show,
No,
please.
Jackson, you stay out of this. You don't need to tell
Come
the
on, Jackson.
difficulties. But
I love that kid.
but if you're
He would
playing
tell on you.
video games 6 hours a day, I can tell you what your patterns are. I can tell you what your juggling act is. You know what I mean?
What's your priorities?
Yeah. What's your priorities? So
and where your life's going?
it's all in the patterns. It's all in what you're juggling because we're all juggling this: rent, our house payment, car payment, insurance, food, taking care of your family, taking care of your health. Those are all things we're all juggling every day.
Right.
Out of all those riches, out of all those things, health is the best. Health is the one priority you better take care of.
Absolutely.
Because when it's all over, if your health ain't right, none of that other. You can have a Lamborghini.
Mm-mm.
If you're dead, you can't drive a Lamborghini.
No.
You can have a hot wife. I got a hot wife over there, little librarian.
Sorry.
You can have a hot wife, but if you're dead, somebody else got a hot wife, right? You can have all the shoes in the world. You're dead. You're going to wear them one time, laying in your casket, right? So all the juggling acts you do and all the sacrifices, you better start with health, right? And I've kicked into where I'm trying to, I lost 108 pounds.
Go, David.
Not where I want to be. watching the podcast made me think, buddy, you better tighten up. You need to get that jawbone line. You need a jawbone line right here.
Elijah can show you some exercises.
Jawbone line. But it showed me that I've got a lot of work to do. And
We all
not that
do.
I'm not eating healthy, but I'm going to tighten up some other things and adjust some stuff, which tells me, Josh Nair, we need to have a conversation sometime, buddy, about it. But that's something juggling, the sacrifice. The sacrifice has got to be health. Sacrifice has got to be family. Sacrifice has got to be spiritual. Church, Christianity is what we believe in, Jesus.
It's a life change, really.
You know, juggling all those things makes the sacrifice for the end sacrifice. It's the long game.
Yeah.
Ain't about the short game. It's about the long game.
No, it's about the results you want in your life, you know? Would you rather spend all your money now and have all these toys, or
Well, yeah, I'll take some toys. I didn't say that.
of course you will.
Take some Lamborghinis. Take some stuff. Nothing wrong with that
Or do you
stuff.
want to invest it in other businesses that are going to take us further in the long run?
I gave John
So our
Huffman
kids will be more successful.
a lot of props, and I'm gonna give him another one because I'm proud of that guy.
Heck yeah.
You know what? I love John. He's younger than me. I look up to him in a lot of ways because he went through a program and did that. But you know, and he better look up to me in a lot. No, I'm just kidding. But you know, something he said about his thing was, "This is success and riches," and it was a picture with his family, and that's really like, it's okay to have nice stuff. You know what I mean? Like, we like nice stuff.
I like shoes.
Yes, she loves shoes, but your health and your family here on earth, besides your relationship with God, is got to be the top juggling.
Absolutely. Yeah, you think about it, because I can have all the shoes in the world, but if my kid's out there shooting up fentanyl, none of that means absolutely nothing.
Money in the bank
Nothing.
don't mean nothing.
Family first, always.
So life is a big juggling act. So if you're struggling and you're juggling, I didn't even mean to rhyme that. But if you're struggling and you're juggling and you don't know and you say, yeah, that sounds cool. Because I know sometimes I watch these motivational guys, like, and they're talking about, well, if your wife likes to spend money, make more money.
Give her some more.
Yeah, give her some more if she's a hard worker. And I agree with that. But you can only go so far with what you got. And you got to work and get more and work and get more, right?
Yeah.
But if you're juggling and you're like, well, yeah, this sounds great. And oh, yeah, you got sober. That's great. But you don't understand the pain. And I might not understand the pain. We might not know exactly. But I know this. I've dealt with some pain in my life. I know I've had some struggle in my life. I've been slept under porches, and I've been in rooms with a lot of money on bed. You know what I mean? But I can tell you, nothing makes me more happy when she tells me, this woman, this little hot librarian right over there, she tells me she's proud of me, or when my kids look at me as their hero.
Yes.
Other than that, I'm fine. And don't get me wrong. If you want to give me a Lamborghini, I'll drive it. I want to put a seat right in the middle, like Mario Kart, because I'm a bigger fella. But
oh my gosh.
But that's what I want to juggle. That's why I juggle what I do and sacrifice what I do, is try to be my wife's hero and my kid's hero. And I failed a lot in life, but by golly, I'm on the track now.
Yeah, rebound.
Any finishing words you'd like to say?
No.
Any quotes from the librarian?
Your eyes are very blue today.
They are. It's
yes.
My chain.
Just your chain,
it's my gold chain. No, don't go low. It ain't too big. It ain't too expensive, but I like it. All right, I think we're out of here on this one. Check your patterns. Check what you're juggling. Are you juggling the wrong stuff? Are you putting time in the wrong stuff? We all have got a juggling act, but we got to switch it up. Relentless hope. Peace.